Welcome to Twisted Gaming.
Ultimate Combo.
Is that your best?
Monster Combo. King Combo. Killer Combo.
It's official. You suck.
Combo Breaker.
Outstanding.
Show no mercy.
You weak, pathetic fool.
Welcome back, everyone, to Twisted Gaming TV, the arcade show, episode 4. We finally made it to episode 4. I almost canceled tonight's show just because I was running behind on a lot of things. So I got it together and, see how it goes. So welcome. First time here. Welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. We got Kuma Rev here. What's up, man? Always flying on airplane. I got a PS5. Nice. Safe travels. So tonight we're going to talk about a arcade company that I consider probably the greatest arcade company of all time, Midway Games. And Midway, Bally, Midway. I mean, they changed their name so many, but they were once a huge, huge arcade company. They've been around for a long time, also, and yeah, they put out so many amazing games. Oof. Even some games that I've never heard of because I wasn't even born yet. So that's even more amazing. A lot of games I haven't heard of, because I was born in 1980. So, I kind of really got into it in the mid 80s, and the 90s is when the heavy stuff hit for me, like the Mortals and everything. So yeah, based out of Chicago. Yep. 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 So yeah, it's gonna be a good show tonight. So the way I do the arcade show is a lot of times I'll have clips that I've put together and then I'll talk about it and then so forth. Sometimes the shows are all pre-recorded and I'm not live. I just watch with y'all and then comment or whatever. But this one's going back and forth. Got clips, got stuff to show, and there's gonna be a lot of nostalgia um, on this week's show because it's some good stuff. So, you ever play Midway's The Grid? Severely understated multiplayer shoot. The Grid. That sounds familiar, but I can't picture it in my head. I'll have to look it up after the stream's over, and maybe it'll rattle my brain. There's just so many games that if it's not like the big names that just might not remember it, but I'm sure I've seen it in the arcades. So we're gonna go for the first clip. Exit out, show the first clip. We're gonna talk about it. It's 4 cabinets linked together. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I do the grid. The grid. What kind of game is it? What kind of game was the grid? And then that might help me out. But anyways, I'll come back to the comments after we rolled the first clip that I put together. So this clip, the first clip's about 13 minutes. And I'll be in the chats. Like Unreal Tournament. Oh yeah. That sounds familiar. I have to look it up. It ain't coming in my brain, but I bet I've seen it and played it. I'm sure. All right, enjoy the first clip. So Midway Games Inc., known previously as Midway Manufacturing and Bally Midway, and commonly known as simply Midway, was an American video game developer and publisher. Midway's franchises included Mortal Kombat, Rampage, Spy Hunter, NBA Jam, Cruis'N, and NFL Blitz. Midway also acquired the rights to video games that were originally developed by Williams Industries and Atari Games, such as Defender, Joust, Robotron 2084, and Gauntlet, and the Rush series.
Midway MFG. Company began in November 1958 as an independent manufacturer of amusement equipment founded by Henry Ross and Marcin Wolverton. It was purchased by Bally in 1969. Bally at that time was a leader in the manufacture of slot machines. After some years making mechanical arcade games such as Puck Bowling and simulated Western Shootout, Midway became an early American maker of arcade video games. Throughout the 1970s, Midway had a close alliance with Japanese video game publisher Taito, with both companies regularly licensing their games to each other for distribution in their respective country. Meanwhile, Midway's breakthrough success came in 1978, with the licensing and distribution of Taito's seminal arcade game Space Invaders in America. This was followed by Midway's licensing and distributing the US version of Namco's Pac-Man in 1980.
Turns out over 500 Pac-Man games a day. So far, over 70,000 games have been made of Pac-Man. That's more than Space Invaders, more than Asteroids. When it comes to video games, Pac-Man is king.
Demand for Pac-Man, for new Pac-Man games, is probably greater today than it was 4 or 5 months ago. It's like a snowball rolling down a very steep hill. It seems to gather momentum as it goes down the hill. But I believe that a game of this type could reach 100,000 or more.
It only takes about 40 minutes to put together a Pac-Man game at Midway's factory in Franklin Park. There really isn't much to assemble. Some brackets, cables, lights, speakers, and of course the TV monitor. But as production manager Tom Andrus told me, this is what makes Pac-Man Pac-Man.
This is the Pac-Man logic board, and Tom, tell me, this is what makes the machine go, huh?
It's just the massive integrated circuits, transistors, resistors, tangeloms, capacitors, and diodes.
Little things like that.
And its sequel, Ms. Pac-Man. In 1982, Midway became Bally Midway MFG. Company after Bally merged its pinball division with Midway. 3 games released that year, including Satan's Hollow, were the first to feature the Bally Midway brand. From the late 1970s through the late 1980s, Midway was the leading producer of arcade video games in the United States. In 1983, Bally Midway acquired arcade manufacturing assets of Sega Electronics from Gulf and Western Industries, and through the purchase also gained distribution rights to arcade games developed by Sega Enterprises Limited in the United States for 2 years, which included titles such as Astron Belt, Flicky, Future Spy, and Up and Down. The Bally Midway was purchased in 1988 by the arcade and pinball game company Williams Electronics Games through its holding company WMS Industries, Inc., and its name was changed back to Midway Manufacturing. Midway moved its headquarters from Franklin Park, Illinois to Williams' then headquarters in Chicago, and WMS reincorporated Midway as a Delaware corporation. Although WMS retained many R&D employees from the original Midway, only 2 game designers were retained: Rampage designers Brian Collin and Jeff Nauman. WMS obtained the right from Bally to use the Bally brand for its pinball games, since Bally had completely left the arcade pinball industry to concentrate on casinos and slot machines. Under WMS ownership, Midway initially continued to produce arcade games under the Bally Midway label, while producing pinball machines under the Bally brand. In 1991, however, Midway absorbed Williams' video game division and stopped using the Bally Midway label for its arcade games. In 1992, the company's The Addams Family machine became the best-selling pinball game of all time. In 1996, WMS purchased Time Warner Interactive, which included Atari games, originally a part of Atari Inc. Also in 1996, Midway changed its original corporate name, Midway Manufacturing, to Midway Games Inc., due to its entrance in the home console market. This was facilitated by WMS transferring its former home console division, Williams Entertainment Inc., to Midway. The division had previously been known as Trade West, which WMS had acquired along with its subsidiary Leland Corporation in 1994. The original arcade division of the company became Midway Amusement Games, and the newly created home division was named Midway Home Entertainment.
Now let's go down the list of games that Midway actually made originally. You got Seawolf, Clowns, Space Zap, Wizard of War, Gorf, Omega Race, Miss Pac-Man, Tron, Blueprint, Satan's Hollow, Spy Hunter, Professor Pac-Man, Discs of Tron, Domino Man, Wacko, Tapper, Junior Pac-Man, Journey, Demolition Derby, Two Tigers, Timber, Sarge, Rampage. Ooh, I love that one. Spy Hunter 2, Exophobe, Blasted, Arch Rivals, loved Arch Rivals, Trog, Pigskin, Total Carnage, yes! Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Super High Impact, Strike Force, Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam, Mortal Kombat 2, Revolution X, Killer Instinct, Cruis'N USA, Mortal Kombat 3, WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game, 2-on-2 Open Ice Challenge, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, War Gods. Boy, that was a flop. NBA Hang Time, Killer Instinct 2, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Area 51, Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey, Cruis'N the World, Off-Road Challenge, Doom 64, Rampage World Tour, Maximum Force, Mace the Dark Age. That's a rare arcade. Top Gear Rally, Mortal Kombat Mythologies, Mortal Kombat 4, San Francisco Rush, NBA Fest, Break 98, Chopper Attack, NFL Blitz, and I went all the way to the top. Awesome. Good night. Hyperdrive, Quake, Assault, Carnival, Rush 2, Twisted Edge Extreme Snowboarding, Biofreaks, NFL Blitz 99, NFL Blitz 2000, Cruis'N Exotic, Hydro Thunder, NBA Showtime, NBA on Sea, California Speed. I mean, blah, 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 Jesus. Gauntlet Legends, Ready to Rumble Boxing, Mortal Kombat Gold, Off-Road Thunder, NFL Blitz 2001, Gauntlet Dark Legacy, Jackie Chan Stuntmaster, Mortal Kombat Special Forces, Four-Wheel Thunder, Rampage Through Time, San Francisco 2049, Team Buddy. You know, it goes on and on and on. I mean, goodness, you know. Tons of games they created. Tons of games. Now, of course, a lot of these games were made and put in the arcades before I was even born. I was born in 1980. Wasn't in the arcades till probably 85. Started going around when I was 5 or 6 years old. So I saw the Galagas, the Pac-Mans, and some of the older games, but didn't really get into the uh, really into the arcade like deeply in my mind until I was around 11, 12 or whatever. And that's when the Street Fighters from Capcom and the Mortals started coming out and all that stuff, and the NBA Jams and NFL Blitzes, um, beautiful games. I have 8 Midway cabinets. I know I always say that on stream, but they're my favorite ones. I loved the Cruis'N series. I loved the Mortal Kombats. I grew up on the Mortal Kombats. Of course, the Killers. You got the NFL Blitz. NBA Jam was a jam. Best basketball game, honestly, of all time. In my opinion, it was just too fun. That's why there were so many of them. You had your Hang Time. Oh boy, the NBC one. Anywho, and then you also had fighting games that weren't that great. You would probably play maybe 1 or 2 times in the arcade because you're like, oh, this is a new fighting game. Let's check it out. And, it was just weird and crap, which was War Gods. A very hard game to pull off like fatalities. I could never really pull them off. My friend could, but they weren't as easy as Mortal Kombat. Yeah, they were a little weird, but that was a weird game. That was a flop. War Gods was. That's when they were trying to go to 3D type fighting, and then you had your Mortal Kombat 4, which wasn't as popular, even though some people like it. It's still a cool game to own. That's why I still have the Mortal Kombat 4 arcade, just because. But the Cruis'Ns were a blast, even though they still have them because, the new one is Cruis'N Blast. So they still made that franchise, even though it wasn't under Midway anymore. It's under Raw Thrills, and Nintendo still owns that license. But Midway Games is just, I want to say they were probably the best arcade manufacturers of games. I mean, you got to understand. They had Pac-Man, they had Galaga. I mean, you name it, they had it. Big company. Sad that they went burning to the ground, because they were losing money each year, probably because of bad company decisions. But, all good things come to an end, you know what I mean? But they did all the home games, the Mortal Kombat ports, the Killer ports, even though they weren't as good as the arcade, because nothing would beat the arcade back in the day. Now, these new modern systems, yeah, you could power any arcade game on a modern system because it's all PCs pretty much. But I'm just glad that I was born in the 80s, and I got to really feel the 90s because it went up to my age, Mortal Kombat came out, I was 12 years old, So I'm really glad I got to experience it. That's why Midway Games is a big nostalgia for me. Big. That's why I have, like I said, 8 original Midway arcade games. Would I plan on getting more Midway games in the future? Possibly. I just have to make more room, and I try not to spend too much money all the time because I blow way too much money, and it's like I'm up to 15 arcade machines right now, and I think I'm good for now, unless something pops up, and that's what always happens, and you go into the black hole again. But love Midway Games. It's awesome. So let's continue. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the clip. Blast from the past. We got Cyber Sealies here. Same here, Twisted. I'm 42. I grew up with all that stuff. Glad I did. I remember seeing Mortal Kombat 1 in the movie theater when it first dropped and was like, holy Yeah. Yeah, the funny you say that, I saw the first Mortal Kombat movie in the theater with my best friend, at the time, and then, a couple of years ago when the newest Mortal Kombat movie came out to theater, that same friend called me up and said, "You ready to make a anniversary?" And I was like, "I guess, let's go see it." So that was cool. We saw the first one together and the current one together. So just waiting on uh the new one to come out, which I think is coming out possibly next year. I think. I thought it was supposed to come out this year, but I think it's 2025 maybe. I don't know. The arcade Mortal Kombat one. Oh, okay. You saw the okay. Okay, you saw the first Mortal Kombat 1 arcade machine, the movie theater. Okay. Yeah, the movie was also awesome. Yes, yes. I got a little confused there for a moment. But yeah, I like I said, I was glad that I was born when I was born back then. Now I wish I was born in, I don't know, like in the 90s, so I'd be younger. Because I'm older now, and that sucks because you start to feel it. What's up, David? But yeah, like I said, love Midway Games. Love Midway Games. If I had enough money to buy every original Midway arcade cabinet, I would. But some of those cabinets though are so stupid rare that, not many exist or are up for sale. Because I mean, you can even go on eBay and you can go marketplace in your area, and it's hard to find Midway cabinets. Now I know Cruis'N USA and the Cruis'N series. I mean, those are probably the easiest Midway games to find. Mortal Kombat's get a little harder. The Killer Instincts get a little harder. I don't see them that much. I think we have like maybe NBA Jam, one for sale in my area. But yeah, I mean, it's just a hit and miss. It's hard to find certain machines, luckily, I have the friend that owns, the side arcades that owns 5 side arcades. So if I really wanted to find a title, I would just contact him and he could find it. He probably already has a damn thing, you know. But I don't want to get out of hand because like I said, I have 15 arcades right now, you know, and it's a lot already. So just trying to chill out right now with buying more. We got a super chat. My gosh, I don't get super chats, man. So that's pretty neat to have super chat. And I don't know how to say your name. Ezekiel? Yeah, whatever. Chicago Retro Ranger. What up, Twisted C? You have a nice collection. I appreciate it, man. And thanks for the $4.99. Now I can go buy me a cheeseburger. Cyber. I have a Cruis'N Exotic Deluxe by Midway. Nintendo Terminator 2 by Midway. I might have to sell them soon. Yeah, I've always wanted a Terminator 2, the gun game. Um, I've always wanted that one. And of course, I would love to have a Cruis'N Exotic. Because honestly, I guess it just depends who you are, what Cruis'N one you like the most. But I really like Cruis'N Exotic the most, just because of the graphics and they got pretty, pretty, pretty tracks on those. So I really like that one. Cruis'N World's good too, though. But I only got Cruis'N USA, so it is what it is. Let's see. I was very fortunate to have bought my 5 Midway cabs years ago and got them pretty damn cheap. Congratulations. Put in the chat, David, what machines do you have? What Midway machines do you have? Love to know which ones. um there's certain Midway cabs that I would love and we'll get into that in a few minutes. But anyways, welcome everyone here. If you're just tuning in, this is the Midway episode 4 arcade show. We got 7 people watching, man. That's great, man. I like it. David, I have MK1, MK2, MK3, KI1, KI2. That's a good combo. Yeah, I only have the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 cabinet and the MK4 cabinet out of the Mortals, but at least the Ultimate 3 cabinet has Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. So all the boards are in that. So I got all the Mortals, just not every cab for each one. But it'd be nice to have the cabs for each one, but you know, I don't know. Yeah. But that's pretty nice. I was supposed to be buying a Killer Instinct, but I'm not sure if it's going to go through now. Oh man. Yeah, those I tell you one thing, the whether it be a Mortal Kombat or a Killer Instinct arcade cabinet, depending where you are, the price can be low or high. Um, a lot of times the killers I've seen are pretty damn high. They're like, $25 to $3,000. But then I went on Marketplace in my area the other day, and they had a original Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet for like $1,200. I'm like, wow, that's a really good price. It might not even be on there now. Who knows? But that's a good price for a MK2 arcade. 1,200. That's not bad at all. Because I've seen them go for 2,000 and a little more than that. But yeah, let me share some pictures before we get into the other clips. Let's catch up on these. Midway in the 90s was a powerhouse of arcades. Yeah. They were the biggest arcade company. Yeah, they were the biggest at one point. Cuz Bally, and it was Bally Midway. I mean, they had a powerhouse, dude. You have room for more arcades in your bottom floor of your game room. Yeah, I do. I do. You know, the game room is filled, but I could put more in the casino room, and the garage below is the same size as this. So the garage, if I was to just clear out everything in the garage, I could probably fit probably at least 30, maybe. But yeah. Namco has always been a giant too. Yeah. Namco, SNK. I mean, just depends where you were. What would be the rarest Midway arcade cabinet? What would be the rarest Midway arcade cabinet? Man, dude, I don't know what would be the rarest. It wouldn't be no 80s or 90s cabinet. It would probably be the uh, late 70 maybe, or early 80s. I mean, Midway had so many arcades. I couldn't even. I would have to see a list of them all bunched up, and probably figure out which one was the rarest. But that's a damn good question for anybody that might know in the chat. Um, Primal Rage. I don't know. Um, Primal Rage though was Atari. That wasn't Midway, unless that was the time that Midway was helping Atari, because at one time Atari and Midway had a partnership. I don't remember what year it was, but they had a partnership. Um, and even Midway even had a partnership with Sega at one point, but I don't remember the year. I mean, we're really getting to deep shit when we get into that kind of stuff. But Primal Rage, I had a chance to buy an original Primal Rage about 4 years ago. I didn't hop on it, um, and that was stupid on my part. I think they were asking like $900 for it, and it was a beautiful cabinet. and it sat on Marketplace for like a year. And I guess they finally took it off, or I don't know. I have a small office in an apartment as my game room. I have 4 candy cabs and one of those Quab Quadba 2009 desks that I use as a desk. Trying to figure out a way to able to fit one more candy cab. That's awesome, Arthur. I like it. I like candy cabs. I have a friend that's local to me. He's the one that I traded and got the 2 Street Fighter cabinets, the Dynamo cabinets. He got he has about 6 candy cabs, I think, 6 or 7. He got a Namco one, a Blast City, a Sega. Uh, he used to have a Cabaret uh, S&K cabinet. I believe he had, but he wants more. He buys arcades, fixes them up, makes a profit to buy more candy cabs. He's a candy cab nut, that's for sure. You could always pick up War Gods by Midway. Sure, if you play that fighting game before and liked it. Yeah, I played War Gods. I mean, I liked it for where it was, but it wasn't one you'd play over and over and over, unless if I just had it here. I've never seen. Nope, sorry, I just lied to you all. 3 or 4 years ago, I saw a War Gods arcade machine for sale, and of course didn't buy it because I was like, the replay value to me wouldn't have been really high to add another 300 pound machine to the arcade, because I'm on a second level. A lot of people's arcades, are on the first level or maybe a basement. I don't know what's worse, arcade being in a basement or above. Probably a basement in case if it floods out and destroys all your shit. Nothing's going to be destroyed here. I'm looking for a grid set up. That'd be pretty neat. I feel like half my childhood arcades were Midway cabinets. No shit. I would think you were a Capcom type of guy, Kuma. That's cool though. Wow. You have a primal. Nice. Nice. That's awesome. I'm a detective over here. What about WrestleMania by Midway with the Undertaker on the side of the arcade machine? I have it in one of my Midway cabs on Switcher. We'll get to that, David. Don't be getting ahead of my show, Key. Primal Rage 2 prototype game, 1 of 4 known. Yeah, that's Atari though. Unless Midway helped with that. Try a 6x6 room in an apartment. Jesus. What's your favorite Capcom cabinet? Maybe top 3, no particular order. My favorite Capcom cabinet is probably the one I have is the Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Dynamo cabinet. The only reason why I wanted that so bad was because I remember playing it in the grocery store while my mom grocery shopped at Minyards. We used to have that. Minyards don't even exist there no more, but they had Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and a Dynamo, just like this one. And then later on, they updated it to a Hyper Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and I played that there too. And Jesus, man, that thing was so damn fast. Goodness gracious. Wow. So it's pretty wild. I did Capcom, but Midway put out so many games that arcades loved them. Plus, the OG classics were always at the arcade. Midway made so many of them. Yeah, Midway was just a big shot caller, man. We have a Italian restaurant that still exists down the road from my house called Angelo's Pizza. and they've been around since the 60s. And I've been going there, still do, but I've been going there since I was a little kid. And I remember when you first walked in the door, they had a uh, Pac-Man cocktail table, right? And then later on, they switched it out, and it was a cocktail Galaga uh, table. So yeah, yeah. So Pac-Man, it's been in my life and stuff. Even though I really don't care for the game, even though I own one now. So yeah, you should ask your buddy if he would sell you his Astro City or his Net City candy cabs. It would look good next to your Bulicks. Yeah, we'll see. I've been trying to buy it, and he better not be watching right now, okay? And creeping. But I've been wanting his damn Street Fighter 2 pinball machine. He got the original Street Fighter 2 pinball machine that he put LED lights in it. He redid the whole uh waxed and refinished, did the whole table. It's all perfect condition. It's very nice. He also I went to Street Fighter 2 pinball. He also has a pretty rare Super Mario Brothers pinball table that is mint as shit. He got it's all LED'd out and it's all lottie da, man. But yeah, since I own two Street Fighter cabinets now, and I'm a big time arcade fighting game fanatic, I would love the Street Fighter 2 pinball just to go with the nostalgia in this damn room. You know what I mean? Ugh. But maybe someday he'll let it go. I hope so. So we'll see. We have Angelo's Pizza and Connecticut. Also, I grew up with it. I love their geez, and they've been around since the same time. I bet it's the same company. Maybe. Big money, big prizes. I love it. Darn, I missed that game in the arcades. Yep. I know. Total carnage. Right? No, Smash TV. Gosh, mine's going trashed. Yeah, exactly. And he got one. So I really want it bad. I enjoy his channel. He shares good knowledge. Watching his videos helped with my restoration. Namco North. Nice, nice. Okay, so before we get into the other videos I wanted to show, we're going to show some pictures of some classic arcades that are really nice. And another thing about Midway Games, they were so good about advertising their arcade machines when they were about to drop. So let's check it out a little bit. I'll get the rev right now first. My first spot by the house was Dino's Pizza in Montana. Had the best fighting cabs and let us play money matches. So many good times. Man, great memories, huh? Ooh. All right. So, like I said, Midway had amazing advertising when they had arcade games coming out. They dropped flyers. So here's one, Arch Rivals. Now, this was made by Brian Colin, the same guy with Rampage. I met him at one of the video game conventions. As you saw earlier in the video, he signed a big gigantic poster um, for me. But he did all the artwork and all the crap. So I mean, I'm sure he did this artwork right here and everything too. But he worked at Midway and all that mess. But Arch Rivals, man, that was a damn good. That was a cool basketball game back in the day. That's for sure. Are there any console or PC games you wish you had an arcade cabinet experience? Yeah, come out with the Grand Theft Auto arcade machine. So we got that one. And then we have this one. Now, I don't want to be lying or anything, but I want to say I've seen one of these in person and then I actually played it, but I could not remember where because it would have been a long time ago because that's back in 1994. But this one was the one that had the damn motion and everything when you played Cruis'N USA. So that would be dope to have in somebody's arcade. That's for sure. I really like that. Looks like a car and everything, dude. Now these, I guarantee there's not many that exist of this, just because most of them just probably broke and got left behind or destroyed. I mean, who knows, you know? And then, of course, everybody's probably seen this flyer. Of course, Killer Instinct, right? Yeah. But yeah, Midway, man, they just had some good flyers, man. That just, if you owned an arcade spot and you were looking to buy new arcades, dude, they just sold this to you. Just looking at the flyer and like, dude, what is that, man? So, and then you got your Mortal Kombat 4. Um, like I said, I love all the artworks. You know, they show the gameplay, the graphics, and shows the specs. Now I'm looking at this and it says the weight on this thing is 400 pounds. Okay, so my Mortal Kombat 4 cabinet is 400 pounds? Holy shit. I thought they were 300 pounds. Why are they 4? Maybe it's just that one. Good gosh. Oh, that's terrible. GTA would be insane. That was an arcade game. I have both KI1, KI2 ads framed in my arcade room. Nice. I don't know what I've ever seen that cruising full setup like that. Yeah, I want to say I've seen it. We'll go back to it for the people that might have missed. I want to say I've seen this and played it, and the whole damn thing just moves, which is pretty wild. But yeah, I can't remember what it doesn't say on here. I want to say it was like maybe a 32-inch monitor that was in that thing, possibly. I want to say it was a 32-inch. Who knows? That thing is massive. And then you got this famous one. This is a famous flyer right here. Mortal Kombat, the first one. And they're coming out of the damn machine. That's not photoshopped or anything. I learned that was an empty cabinet. And they actually got in the cabinet and was coming out and, took the picture or whatever. There's no CRT. It's just the shell. And they're coming out of that. That's how they made that flyer. It's not photoshopped or anything. Ain't that pretty wild? It's pretty wild. I mean, I don't even know if the joysticks are on there. The buttons are, but I don't know if the joysticks are on there. But this is another cab that I would love to own. Would be a Mortal Kombat 1. Of course, I want a Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet too, but space and price and yeah, you just kind of go with the flow. You never know. What are you planning on getting next? I'm not sure if you mentioned it. I don't know yet. I really don't know. Game Pro magazine. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. Yep. That thing was everywhere. And I'll get to your question in a minute, Arthur. We're coming up to it. And then you got the famous NBA Jam arcade cabinet. Yep. I don't have that one. I got the tournament edition one. And then of course you got the Blitz. Now, I don't have the NFL Blitz 2000 Gold Edition. I have the original NFL Blitz cabinet, 2-player. I know they made a 4-player, I believe. I think so. But this one's cool, though, and I've seen these for sale. NFL Blitz 2000, and then it has the NBA Showtime, NBA on NBC, dual games on there, which is a cool cabinet because it has 2 games on it, which is pretty awesome. See, they did it before, that one company everybody knows about did. But yeah, I love their artwork. Anyways, let's go to clip number 2. This one's a fun one. So we're gonna take a little tour, okay, at Midway. All right, I'm gonna go.
All right, players, here we are on the outside of Midway Games here in Chicago, and I'm going to take you inside and we're going to go on a little tour and we'll meet a lot of developers and people who make the games that you guys play. We have lunch in here daily, and these are all the different games we play. We got a few people working on off-road, looks like, here in the back. Maybe you can get a peek at them. Boo. Now we're going to wander over into our office area. Here we're actually editing the video you're watching. How you doing, Chris? There's myself on the screen there. Chris is doing the editing on the video that you're watching as I speak. Here we go. This beat up, tattered looking studio is where we've shot all of the digitizing for the Mortal Kombat games. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most secret code I could ever give anybody, and it's the code to our motion capture studio, so we're gonna have to change it after this. It's 2, 4 at the same time, then it's 3. Look at that. So next time you guys break into Midway, you know how to get in our motion capture studio. When you work in computers, everything's got to be clean and pristine. You can't be slobs about anything. When you see guys jump flipping and doing somersaults in Mortal Kombat, they do it off this trampoline. And the reason why we use it is because, a lot of times you got a motion capture guys jumping, so we get them jumping on these trampolines. And we actually have trouble guys, banging their head on the ceiling. That light's out there because somebody whacked it real good. Somebody's in there. Here we go. Door was open. Here's our costume room. This is where, whenever we costume anybody, we kind of bring them over here. We've got, here you see Scorpion's costume. Here we've got Shinnok's costume. And what else do we have here? Here's Raiden's. This is cool. Scorpion's mask. Now we're kind of making our way into the catacombs. And as you can see, it says here, closed door means please do not disturb. But, see, there's a little crack here. So I'm assuming that the door's not closed. So we're going to go in, and this is Ed Boon's office. So here we go. Oh, they seem to be in the middle of a deep thought here, putting together a video. And they're not too amused, so we'll just leave them. And here's our good friend Eddie Ferrier. He's been a playtester here for a few years. Eddie, what's the best game you've ever played? All right, you didn't hear that. What's the best game you ever played?
Sub-Zero.
There you go. Here we've got the godfather, the doctor of video games, Eugene Jarvis, creator of all. Some call him God. What do you call yourself?
Face.
Oh man, I love videos like that behind the scenes because you can actually see the workers making the games and stuff. I mean that's just a dream job if you were into the arcades or whatever, and you're actually the one that makes them, and you go to work every day, which I'm sure it's about as stressful as any other job because you got deadlines and the high ups saying, "When's this damn game going to be done?" and crap. But yeah, there's so many videos like that you could just sit on YouTube for hours and watch that kind of stuff. A really good video, if you are into the documentaries, is Insert Coin. A very, very good one. Insert Coin. That is a good film. I think you can buy it on Amazon or you can buy it at the New Wave Toys, I think. I think they sell it, or they did, but you can buy it on Amazon. But yeah. Oh yeah. I love videos like that. Pretty impressive. That's right. Yep. Still around today. Pretty wild. Now, since I'm having brain issues, Akuma, he does Raw Thrills now, right? He's in charge of Raw Thrills, correct? because I think that's where he's at now, right? That was a great documentary about Midway Rise and Fall. Yeah. Damn, I might have to watch that tonight again because I got it on Blu-ray. I bought it as soon as I saw that, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, documentary! Oof, I need to watch that." So yeah, it's very good. Interviewer was a Chris. You're a Chris, and I'm a Chris. There's lots of Chris's. Holy Christmas! Yeah, that's funny. Let's see. So now the next video, you keep the comments coming if you want in the super chat, and I'll answer them when we get back. But here's another clip, and this is another tour. The Midway tour we just watched, that was 3 minutes. Now this is a Bally Midway tour that's really sweet. Okay, it's about 5 minutes long, but you're gonna really love it because man, I already watched it 5 times before the stupid stream. Because it's exciting, I love all the background crap of stuff, a lot of people don't see that, and it's amazing. So I'm gonna go away and we're gonna check this out together. Okay, so let me go.
And when these folks aren't making games, they're playing them. Hi, what is your name?
Roger Sharp.
Roger. Is there a Mr. Williams or a Mr. Bally or?
Yeah, there once was. Harry Williams. Yeah. Today you're actually going to be seeing Addams Family.
How many people you got working here?
We have literally about 1,500 here, but about 3,000 employees in 3 different facilities. And here's one of our most famous employees, Steve Kordak, old timer.
Now, Steve, how old are you?
I'll be 81 this December.
Do you still play pinball?
Oh, hell yes, I love it. What we do with this particular playfield is we put it into this hydraulic press. And this hydraulic press marks the top of the playfield and the bottom of the playfield so that the people on the assembly line know where to put the posts, the rubber ring, anything that goes on this game is marked off so they can place it in here.
Why is it that the ball always seems to go right down the middle between the flippers?
I don't know. Oh, it's a magnet. I don't know.
What are you doing here, sir? Now, you guys designed this Addams Family game.
That's correct. We headed the design group.
Why are the scores always so darn high? It seems like pinball, why not a football score like 27-10 or something?
We've had pretty continual score inflation, and it's really the players feel like they're getting a little better every game, and every.
But still, it's frustrating when you get 22 million points and you're still like not in the top 10. What do you think of the rock musical Tommy? Was it realistic?
Yes.
Is there a pinball wizard? Have you ever met one?
No.
You always answer with yes or no answers? Or?
Sorry, old man.
Where do they come up with the sounds for these things?
The sounds are generated in the back by a group of musicians that we have.
Hi, what's going on in here? What's your name?
Hi, I'm Paul Heitch. I'm a sound designer here at Williams.
And you're doing sounds for the games, right?
Yes, yeah.
Can you tell us what game this is going to be for?
No, I can't.
Top secret?
Yes. Let's have a hey.
How angry?
Pretty angry.
Hey!
That was very angry.
Yeah.
Wash those hands, Buster!
So it's basically some guy, like, with his hands all over a woman.
Wash those hands, Buster!
Yeah, that's basically the mode.
So this one isn't meant for the kids. It's not a family game.
It's an operator adjustment.
Okay. Whatever that means.
Well, that means the.
Are you going to clean it up for the kids?
Well, yeah, the operator has the option of whether or not he has the full-blown sound package or the PG.
Or the really
sound
lascivious sound package.
Right.
She didn't do the voices for the Addams Family, right?
No, she didn't.
Who did those?
Raoul Julia and Angelica Houston did those voices.
The real people.
The real people.
What's your name?
John Tobias.
And you are?
Ed Boone.
And these are video games. These are not pinball, right?
Correct.
And these guys are going to sort of enact a fight scene, which is going to be relayed to the game itself?
Right. These fellas here play characters in the game.
We take their images and we put them on film here, and then we transfer that to video images, and it turns out to end up what's on the game over there.
Do you ever come like into a video arcade and sneak up behind somebody playing the game and say, that's me? And...
Oh, well, actually, I was in an arcade, and some guy turned to me and he goes, oh, you should play this game. It's pretty fun. And I was like,
Why don't you take a look at it? You know,
I am the game.
I am the game. I am in the game.
And the game is me.
And the guy didn't even know.
Everything you just saw is basically what you're going to be seeing here. Like, we'll pick the same two guys here. And these are the same two actors doing all the moves that we had filmed and put them on tape. And that is...
Oh, that was blood.
Yeah, right.
Lots of blood. This isn't really meant for kids, though, either, though, is it?
Well, actually, it is. I mean, that's the kind of the stuff they've been playing right here.
Oh my God! He just ripped his heart out.
Right.
Am I in the next game now?
Yeah.
We're going into the catacombs of the.
This is the design area for pinball.
This is a pinball game
From
the 30s.
Yeah, from the early 1930s.
And you're one of the designers.
Yes, I am, and I'm testing out some new software on an old game.
And I bet you don't even have to pay, do you?
No, I never do, and that's probably one of the best things about working here.
Okay, can I play a ball here?
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay. Are the flippers always the same distance apart?
No, they're not.
Oh, that was, see, I think you need a little more flipper there.
No.
It always seems to go down that alleyway for me.
Well, if it never went down there, then you'd never stop playing, right?
True, and I'd never get an education and have a job.
Right.
If somebody wants to put one of these pinball machines in their home or business, what do they do?
Just check with the distributor in the area, look in the yellow pages under vending machines or amusement equipment and go for it.
Okay.
And now you know why pinball machines cost $6,000 to $10,000 these days. Well, 6 to 15 to 20 grand, depending what premium or whatever. But back in the day, the pinball machines weren't that expensive as they are now. But it just shows how much goes in to the pinball stuff. I mean, it's just ridiculous on an assembly line. You know, you can look at these arcade machines and you're like, yeah, that ain't too hard to do. But then you look at all the parts and stuff. But when we were looking at the Pac-Man assembly line earlier in the Midway manufacturing warehouse or whatever, they could do a machine in 40 minutes. From nothing to a working Pac-Man arcade machine in 40 minutes down the assembly line. Crazy. That is just crazy stuff. Crazy. And not many people can put a 3/4 scale arcade as fast as they have. So we'll leave it at that. That's pretty funny. But what do y'all think about that behind the scenes at Bally Midway when they were Bally Midway? Now I would say that was probably a little before the Midway tour one, because the Midway tour one was 1997. So I would say the Bally Midway tour was before that. Because 97 it wasn't Bally Midway anymore. It was just Midway. But yeah, pretty amazing stuff. Now the last clip I want to show is it's pretty good. It shows some gameplay of some of the games that we've talked about or whatever. But to answer your question, I think it was Archer earlier. You asked what arcade game I would get. No, it wouldn't be Rampage. It would be this. Now, if I could find that in original, the original, if it's, if it had to be redo a little bit or whatever, but have an original WrestleMania though, that would be cool as hell. So that would be a nice next arcade that I would like if I could find one. But those are pretty hard to find. They do exist, but they're very hard to find. So the next clip, we're going to see some footage of some gameplay, and some of this shit is hilarious. Starting with War Gods, because that was a funny arcade machine. Let's check it out. Midway Games. Man, they had it all. Fighting games, sports, pinballs, everything. Here's War Gods right here with a fatality. Well, that's the most flop, goofiest fighting game they've ever made. Crazy. Another machine that I would love to have is up next, this WrestleMania arcade machine. Now, I would love to have this arcade machine if I could find it, but this one's pretty rare. Then you got the famous NBA Jam, which I got the tournament edition. Happy with that. Another one a friend wants me to get is the original Rampage arcade. And it's like, I don't want that arcade because it's too big for what it is, right? This one would get boring pretty quick. And then you got Revolution X, which is an amazing fighter. Then you had the Terminator 2 fighter, shooter, I mean. Then you got the racing games. You got the Cruis'Ns, all those. Those were amazing. Then if you want to get in a boat, then you got the Hydro Thunder, which is another cool favorite. And if you want to go way back in time, you can get a Miss Pac-Man or Pac-Man, which the one you see right here is mine. So very happy with that. And then back to the fighters. You know, you can go back and you can get you some Killer Instinct, Great fighting game. So, yeah, they had plenty of stuff. And then you had the pinballs, which I don't have any pinballs yet, but this is the one I would get is Terminator 2. I had to show the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 arcade at the end because I own it. That's one of my favorites too. But yeah, a lot of crazy games. They did have some flops, but they had more amazing games than flopped games. So at least the ratio was better. What's up, Lady Jane? Yeah, you made it, but it's almost over with. It's almost over because we're past an hour. And it's longer than y'all been keeping me on here longer because of the chatting it up. If I didn't get that much chats, we'd have already been over with. Mace the Dark Age. Yeah, that was another one I forgot to put in the clip that I really liked it. I've seen one Mace for sale for a couple of years ago. They were asking quite a bit. They were asking for like $2,000, and yeah, even though it's a rare game and stuff, yeah, I should have bought it, but I didn't. May never even see one of those again. Who knows? That's pretty rare one now. But that was a good game, and when they brought it on the Nintendo 64, I played it a lot on there, so that was a fun game. Do you ever play zombies on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3? Twisted you down to play later. If not zombies, I'll play multiplayer. I suppose if you get a little bit, not maybe some other time. Maybe tomorrow-ish or Sunday-ish, because I'm going to work tomorrow to do some overtime around 5 a.m. So I got to get up early, about 4. But I want to get some overtime in. But yeah, maybe sometime this weekend, if you see me on, hit me up. Okie dokie. Yeah, Terminator 2 pinball. But my friend did say that my friend that owns Cidercade, I told him I wanted a twisted metal Terminator 2 pinball, but he said that if you want a Terminator pinball machine, he would suggest getting a Terminator 3 pinball machine, because he said the Terminator 2 pinball machines have a lot of common issues that I guess they break all the time, and he would know because he owns 5 arcades. So yeah, so maybe the part 2 is more for nostalgia reasons than upkeep. Who knows? There's a behind the scenes MK3 video on YouTube. Really cool. I'll have to check it out. I might have already seen it, but I might have to check it out. N64 is the only place I've ever played it. Oh yeah, on the Mace the Dark Age. Yeah, the arcade version is pretty badass. It's pretty awesome. Sounds good. Well, I guess that's it for this week's arcade show. Appreciate everybody coming here. Thanks for all the the chats and stuff. Appreciate that, y'all commenting. I like to interact with y'all. Now, I will say that I'm probably not gonna have an episode 5 next week just because it's 4th of July weekend and I kind of want to just chill the hell out. Because I'm working 4th of July for overtime, but I'm off that Friday and I just probably need 3 days to chill out because I work in the heat and shit all day. So we're probably gonna have episode 5, not next week, but the week prior to next week. So and that'll be episode 5, which I don't even know what episode 5 is. I have to figure out what I want to talk about next. So when this video, you know, renders and it's on YouTube, in the comments section, if you have any ideas what you want to see in the next arcade show or want to talk about or subject, just type it in the comments for suggestions. And I could probably even do a deal in the community post or whatever, and then we can do it. But y'all have a wonderful weekend and stay cool because it's hot. And I'll do the exit that Rev always say. Tell someone you love them. Okay? God bless. Pieces.